Rockin' Larry Lockin here with Pleiadian Late Night Talk with my partner Ravishing Raquel Toombs, one half of the Can-Am West Coast Pacific Northwest Connection. Raquel Toombs, how are you doing tonight, girl?
I'm doing awesome. Very well. How are you?
Wonderful there. I had a little bit of a technical glitch like I usually have there at the beginning. You know, with me, nothing can go smooth. But I know we were talking earlier about a couple things, and it was, again, so synchronistic because the things that you'd mentioned, you know, I felt like I needed to contact you. And then the things you started mentioning to me, I had been thinking of lately. I know that we wanted to touch on a few things tonight, like what seems to be, at least in our perception, a stagnation of information out there right now, kind of within humanity as far as channelings go and whatnot. And I know that we really wanted to touch on something important too, you know, our pets, you know, especially a lot of us that are a little bit more awakened. It seems that pets get drawn to us, and, you know, that they're part of the team of incarnates down here to help us. And I'm kind of all over the board here tonight, but I wanted to kind of know, let's get into this stagnation of information we were talking about. I'd like to kind of get your flow on that and just go from there.
Well, yeah, excuse me. We were totally on the same page thinking because I had mentioned that to you, and that's what you were almost pretty well like, why don't we bother to type or communicate anymore? Like, we're like, wow. But I'm finding that for a while now, it's all the same messages out there. There's really nothing new. It gets kind of redundant and kind of to even like go online or or even in books, it's all the same messages that are coming through. And I think a lot of that has to do with, like, a lot of people think, okay, ascension, there's going to be certain people that are going to ascend before others, like they're going to get first, and all these people, and then, or else some people won't ascend, some will. I don't know. I think that we're kind of in a period right now where we're all at different levels, and some of us with this information that's been, that's out in the, on the surface, and that we see all the time, like, your thoughts create your reality, the oneness, everything outside of you is an extension of you, all that. Now, this is, good that it's repeating, because oftentimes we need to hear these things until we really, like you said, that until we really get it, understand it, and live it and embody these messages. So because, ascension is because we're one, the earth is ascending, everything on the earth and everyone on the earth is ascending. So I think we're kind of in a time right now where these people, some people that haven't gotten certain messages yet, there's this time now where a lot more people are going to be getting it, and quicker, right? And then
it's kind of like summer school anyway. It's kind of like almost summer school for those to catch up. And I know that it had been really bothering me and bugging me the last week and driving me crazy, because it seems like it's just the same information, and then it's not really any information. It's like there's just really nothing going on. But after talking to you and you mentioning to me, kind of this period of catching up, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like a summer school. It's time to just catch up so we can, the earth is ascending. And, we've thrown out those cliches, I have talked about it a million times, but it really is a oneness. We are all at our own phase and kind of in our own dimensions. It's kind of like all those endless numbers of souls and our dimensions just merging together as oneness. And it's about this. We need to get the fact that it is about the earth is ascending and we're all going together. We are really in this together. I mean, if ever that cliche was really apropos, it is with this. And I feel like too, it really is kind of a break, because it's not just the same regurgitated information, but then half the time there's nothing going on at all, you know?
Yeah, lulls, ascension lulls. I don't know. I think that, and like we were talking to, I think you just kind of, you get to a point where you just to make assumptions isn't good. You shouldn't assume, but I think you just get to like a level of of connection where a level of remembering, where you're remembering things really fast, and you have all this knowledge, and it's not like you really forget that you didn't at one time you didn't have this knowledge. You just sometimes kind of assume that, okay, well, I'm not going to say that because everybody knows that, right? But then when you think about it, well, no, that's not true, because I don't know. I think kind of sometimes it's easy to kind of forget that you didn't know before, right? So you get to a point where you're very connected and you know a lot of stuff, and I guess that's why we're all kind of, and we're all putting the same messages out there too. We're all on the same wavelength, and we're all basically putting the same messages out there right now.
Right. You know, you just really struck something in my mind. Sorry, I had to get up and get my dog his biscuits. But the thing is too, right? It's like I was thinking, okay, well, as far as like the mainstream goes of this kind of stuff, okay, we've heard from people time and time again. It seems like a lot of people were just, and I find myself waiting for something new or somebody to come out. But maybe this is all just that part of this phase. We are all creating our own reality together. We shouldn't look for. This is that phase we're in kind of right now, is we're past that, what this person said, what that person said. It's about, what we feel inside and bringing that all together.
Yeah, but it's also a process of truly standing in our own power. When we're truly, remembering who we are and we're standing in our own power, then we, the whole, we create our own reality. We're creators. That's no longer just something we hear or a concept. That's something we truly understand. And now, we have that power, and it's like that, like you said, we get it. So now we decide what we allow into our life and what we don't allow into our life. There's many people that are just, stepping into their power.
For sure. I've always put it like in 3 phases. I feel like people like, well, you and I were already born with at the second phase at the very least, but there's that not realizing it all, not conceiving of it. And then there's that second phase where you know it to be the case and it is the case, but then it's one thing to get to that third phase, the way I put it, where it's like, aha, yeah, okay, I'm full of the feeling now and realize it, Does that make sense?
Can I tell you this harsh experience? When they say reality is an illusion, well, I thought I understood that. I got that. I went to a restaurant with my mom, and we're sitting there, we order our food, and the food comes, and all of a sudden, I realized that restaurant wasn't really there. The waiter, mom, the food on the table, even my body sitting in that table, that was all projected. It was all a projection of mine. I was projecting all of that. I was creating all of that. It was almost like it was all a hologram. And I almost puked. I was like, oh my God. I started sweating. I'm like, Mom, we got to go. She goes, what's up? I'm like, well, let's go. It was like overwhelming. And then it was like, after that, it's like, okay, it's like a week, like, okay, what do I even do with this now? How do I live in this world now? Not just hearing reality is an illusion, but actually sitting there experiencing it. It hit me so hard. Like I said, I was going to throw up, right?
Oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and I hate to interrupt you just real quick, but it's so resonant. Last night, okay, a guy I've listened to for years, he wrote the book Communion, his abduction with the Greys in the 80s, and not no one really was, but he was saying the same thing, Whitley Strieber, last night, that, he took a wrong turn one time, taking one of his son's friends home, after he stayed over there with them for the weekend, and they took this wrong turn down an expressway, and they were all of a sudden in this road that didn't exist, he'd never seen before or been on, and it looked like it was in another time dimension, and he got out of there, and they that place didn't exist on a map, and he was describing it like the same way you were talking about that experience, and it just really, it really just, it struck me. Anyway, go ahead and go on.
Yeah, well, it's, after you have experiences like that, then it's kind of like, okay, like it takes a while to, because I mean, we are, we are creating ourselves here. We are a complete creation of ourselves here. Everything that we're experiencing, everything that we are, everything, like we're, oh, it blows your mind. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole here. But anyway,
yeah, exactly. But yeah. Let's just say that people, it's true, and it's crazy. Listen, check this out. He even mentioned, of course, people talk about outer body experiences all the time like that. But he says this will blow your mind. I had one where I felt like I was completely there, but I couldn't feel or see my body. Like, you know what I mean? It was like the reverse of an outer body experience. Isn't that, if you can get it, if you can, that, I mean, it's just, there's so much out there that we still have yet to experience. And when we limit our minds and try to box it into just a way of thinking of what we've ever seen or known, I think we really limit ourselves,
Oh, we do. And I mean, after that experience, your mind, like we said in the last show, like your mind can really become a trap, right? Because then I kind of came home and I was like, anxious and like feeling sick and sweating, and it was like panicky. It was like, oh my god, like how do I live in this reality now, knowing that basically I'm not even here in this reality. I'm just thinking that I am, right? And I'm existing in multiple realities at the same time, and bringing all those kind of together, right? It's you just gotta get into really like feeling and not thinking too much, because your logical or rational mind can just not it can't comprehend and it can't explain it. It can't figure it out.
No, and I think too, you talk about those different, realities that we're in, and as our consciousness opens, I've always thought, scientists say, okay, we use 10 to 15% of our brain, and you'd be more smart when you use more. But what I think really the truth is your consciousness. Like if you use 100% of your brain rack, all those realities would come together and make sense just in your daily existence, right? It would all seem clear. And another thing I wanted to get into and really get your take on though is, the fact about channeling itself. People get a lot of hung up on the structure. You were talking to me in the pre-show about channeling really is whatever that connection is for you, right? When you're in those moments in that zone, you want to kind of touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I noticed how I was telling you about if you've ever watched Third Rock from the Sun, one guy will be, incoming transmission from the big giant head, right? And that's kind of how I see it's kind of how I see some of these channel messages when people speak different voices, and oh my god, this is I'm channeling King blah 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 from Hulashkabar or whatever. It's kind of like okay, for one thing, if that's the way you need, if that's the way the information comes out from you, then fine, that's your thing, right? But I don't know, I just think that when you awaken and your consciousness expands and you really connect, you have those moments of complete connection. And information, and remembering information just flows to you. We're open, constant channels. We're transmitters, right? We're picking up all this information. People like to put theatrics on and change their voices or roll their eyes back or maybe, okay, this is, and name a specific entity or being or whatever that they're channeling. And okay, I get that, that's just not really my thing. The information comes forth to me. I've always been like, before Google, people would be like, call Raquel, she'll know. And it didn't even really matter what the subject was, what they needed to know, but I always just kind of knew. Like I always just kind of had a direct line, right? And I think, that's what, expanding our consciousness and, and connect is really about, like all this information available to us. But I mean, your angels and demons and all that, those are all extensions of you anyway. Those are all extensions of you, your guides. They're all extensions of you, because we all have connection to the knowledge is all from the same source.
Yeah, I wanted to get you on another thing real quick too, because I'm a little biased with this, because of my Pleiadian tendencies, and I love Barbara Marciniak. But as from your level, right, you can look at her from a level like, okay, it resonates with me. I mean, we were talking about people getting hung up on going through maybe like her mantra that she does, like her, we are the Pleiadians, but that's her thing. You know what I mean? When you want to talk about kind of how you explain that, you know, because I know you can talk better than me and will make people realize that you're not bashing Barbara Marciniak, but letting people know to kind of get their own style. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess whatever, you know, whatever form you're putting, you know, putting the information out there. If you know, if that's your thing, then that's your thing, right? Like, I mean, we're all, we need everybody, right? We need everybody. We need
right, but it's not necessary to follow somebody else's structure per se. You know what I mean? But if that's what you need to do, then yeah.
Because we're not regurgitators, we're creators.
Exactly. No, exactly. You know, people get sometimes caught up in the structure of it, and if they need to do that, that's fine. But relax. You know, it is okay to relax and get in tune with whatever your own interpretation of that higher self and your collective self is. You know, so I think sometimes we overthink it a little bit, and yeah, and you know, I know the main reason we kind of wanted to talk tonight, and I'm really excited to talk about is, you know, our animals. I kind of wanted you to share with everybody kind of about your, you know, your new you're one of your soul teammates that recently found you again.
Yes, Ariel. Oh my gosh.
Ariel.
She's amazing. We've been asking the landlord, you know, if we could adopt a dog for so long. And finally we got okay, and you know, we looked at a couple and they just fell through, and we were a bit disappointed, but we see now why they did fall through, because she's mine. She's ours. I mean, she was us, and the first week she was here, the energy as far as the physical stuff I was going through just intensified. It felt like somebody turned the gravity up. The physical got way more intense, and I think it's because her soul is so pure and her energy is so strong. It was a bonding time where my energy and her energy had to merge, and so it was really intense for me. I've talked to her, you know, telepathically. We'll lie here and we do a guided meditation every night. I see her energy, I feel her energy, I work with her energy and with crystals, and you know, it's an energy interaction between us. And excuse me, the animals, whether they're domesticated animals, you know, or wild animals, are really our relationships with them and their behavior towards us is just incredible. You see so many stories about wild animals, whether it be deer or lions, or you know, really connecting with people
more and more and totally ascending with us on that level too. I mean, this isn't just your yesteryear, even with dogs and cats, where you know you had a good dog companion. These, I mean, we really are getting in tune with everything, and I mean, it's that way with plants too. I mean, it's kind of trippy, but it's cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, animals as well. They're so wise, but I mean, the intelligence that a lot of them are showing now more than any other time is it just blows me away. They're like becoming more and more human-like. I don't know if you've noticed that.
That's what I wasn't going to say that word. That's exactly the way I'd put it. And I'd even go so far as to say, not only that, and then the plants aren't too far behind them, but the animals, oh, wow. I swear I've seen, yeah, they're becoming more human. I mean, I'm expecting it to start talking to me. I'm expecting my dog to start talking to me one day almost.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sometimes I look at her and it's like, who is behind those eyes? Like, this isn't just a little dog, you know? This is
exactly.
Yeah, it's a huge soul.
Yeah, that cute body it's in is really nothing. There's something huge behind that.
Oh, absolutely. And then also before, excuse me, before we adopted her, you know, I was, you know, I'm kind of known for, you know, for all my animal pictures and stuff. I mean, I've had, well, the birds for one thing, always followed by birds, always surrounded by birds. And I think that's a pretty common thing with a lot of us. Birds are our guides. Birds are medicine. Yep. Birds are messengers. Birds, you know, they're they're all here to teach us as well. And they're all here to help us and guide us. And as we, become more sensitive, and as we awaken more and more, and as we raise our vibrations, to love, they're naturally, is it be love and you'll attract all that is love, right? So, it's, the animals are feeling, okay, this person's not a threat, right? And there was a time when, so many people were so dense, so dense and so negative and so, I guess, dark. And because we've lightened so much, the animals see it, the animals feel it, and the animals respond very lovingly. I mean, like you say, even the skunks, like I had a skunk here. I'd meditate in the backyard and the thing would be right beside me, and I'd be like, no fear. I didn't have any fear, but I would just, kind of look at it out of the corner of my eye, and then when I walked away, I'd say, thank you so much for not spraying me, right? And then I raised its spade for it because poor thing got died.
And the more these things happen, the more the love builds, right? And that helps the veil lift even quicker and quicker for the whole collective. And you mentioned birds, something nobody really ever talks about, but have you ever noticed with crows? I mean, you couldn't describe a more family-oriented, a loving type of species, the way they work and stick together. I mean, it's just, and protect each other in mass numbers. And I mean, I've got to, and they'll even take in a couple of goofy white seagulls once in a while to hang out with them. It's just, they're amazing.
No, they are. They get such a bad rap. At my old place, I've had people that were like, oh, they're disgusting animals. I wish I had my pellet gun so I could shoot them.
Oh, they're demons. Yeah, I didn't heard that, though. They're demons. They're demons. That's comical.
When the woman said this to me, this was at my old place, and I had about 30 of them that would follow me daily, a family of 30. So I was standing there, and there was probably about 10 of them on the fence directly behind me when I was just, I could feel the ugliness and the darkness and the hatred coming out of her. And I think she was a bit intimidated because they didn't budge off the fence behind. Here I am standing facing her, and there's like 10 crows all perched like not even a foot behind me, right? And
they had your back, girl. They had your back.
They're amazing. Like, I mean, they'd follow me to the store and back. I'd go to the store each day to buy them treats, and they'd follow me there and back. They're almost eating out of my hands. And then the ones I have here, they're mimicking me now. I go, that's my bird call, right? My crow call. And so now I'll go outside, and the crow will look at me, and I'll be like, no way. And but yeah, they're amazing. And they remember, their facial recognition is incredible too. They remember, and they'll tell the other crows if you help them. And, so, I mean, I've got 3 that it was really sad moving away from my, from my other ones. Cause I mean, they bring me so much joy too. Like, I am so at peace amongst animals, especially amongst birds, like so at peace amongst them. So when I moved, it was heartbreaking. I got cried. There goes my crows. So we have 3 here that will sit outside every morning. I go out there and feed them. And there's a 4th one that's trying to fly in and, but for some reason they keep chasing it away. I hadn't seen that before because I was used to such a large number of them. But yeah, they're really cool. They're very intelligent, and they recognize faces and they remember you. If you're mean to them, well, they'll shit on you, or they'll call at you, or they won't come near you. But they know, and yeah, they remember. Even when I go back to my old neighborhood, they remember me. They'll come right up to me. They remember me. It's amazing.
Have you ever had like a couple of them ever like hang out on a light post by your house, or but aside from that, I think back to one of the few stories out of the Bible, actually, like the great prophet Elijah had to hide out for a month or so, and a crow helped him as a messenger, brought him water and bread before he actually Elijah ascended. But crows I had somebody one time tell me, oh, they're evil demon messengers. I just had to laugh. I thought to myself, shit, if that's the case, we don't have to ever worry about any, if that's evil, then we're okay then.
Well, it's people talking anyway, yeah, because there are, they've been portrayed as, dark, or they're going to steal, the soul catchers, soul stealers, but just like everything else has gotten lost in translation, and turned around and turned to the negative when it was actually a beautiful thing. I mean, like the the native zoology for animals and their spirit animals and guides and stuff. They have such great respect and admiration and understanding of animals, and each animal is medicine, and it all means something. I don't know, just like everything else, I guess. Some people think of crows as bad, but really, no. I mean, they're all souls, and I know that I've heard people say, "Do you think animals have souls?" It's kind of like,
no shit. They have blood. They have eyeballs. They have a body too. Hey, wait. Yeah, no. Yeah. Hey, get into the 10th century.
They are souls. What do you mean? Do they have souls? They are souls. They just happen to be animals. Right?
Yeah. I mean, does a teddy bear have stuffings for balls? I mean, yeah, of course they are. Exactly. I mean, they're amazing. But that made me think of, hey, you said the Soul Catcher. That'd be a good idea for a low budget late night horror movie. The crow that stalked the neighborhood, the Soul Catcher.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there probably already has been movies about it.
I know, how lame.
Quick, get that crow. He just stole my soul.
No, I know, little shit like that. It's like, come on. Even if that were the case, oh well, if that's all it's going to take to break you as an evil bird, well, come on. But anyway, you know what I mean? Yeah, and it goes back to, that's perfect, ties into that other thing we were touching on too. And I got to put this delicately, but the tribalness in people. We are all one tribe as a whole collective, but I think people. It's one thing and be okay, you're proud of your roots here on earth and maybe your heritage, what country you're from, but when you get too hung up on it, I feel like whether not even out of bad intention, it gets you caught up in that separatism. You know what I mean, Rack?
Well, let me tell you I'm going to tell you my perspective.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell right, I am. I find that a lot of people have this kind of tribe mentality, and it's like, when you find, your fellow weirdos, you found your tribe, woohoo, love you tribe. To me, birds are my tribe. Animals are my tribe. Trees are my tribe. Every being on earth is my tribe. I think that, people like the tribe mentality, I think that's kind of, just people like, feeling that, wanting to belong to a certain group or a certain. See, with me, I'm on a solo mission here. I'm even though I'm on a solo mission here, I mean, I'm connected. Everyone's my family, but I'm a very solitary person, and I don't. I do things, quietly, and well, not quietly. I do things on my own. I find that I've met many people, many souls that have really resonated with me, and you feel that really, really strong connection with them, and you even merge them, and it's amazing. But then, people, but then they come and, go. Like, you always have that connection with them. So if you ever want to talk to them, whatever, they're always there because you've made that connection. But it just all depends on how you're vibing, right? Your vibrations could touch where someone's totally in sync with you and totally vibing with you, and it's like, oh my God, it's a wonderful thing. But for me, there's no, except for Janice and Sif, there's really, like, it's not like a tribe of people that are constant, like, wow, that's my tribe, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I find that to do that, it just adds to more separation if you're looking only at specific people as your tribe or your soul family or whatever. All souls are family, right? Because we all come from the same source. All souls, not just human souls, all souls are family. And
plus when you get hung in that mentality too, you don't even, you miss what teachings and good learnings you can have from that particular part of the tribe and soul. I think it's important, like you said, you resonate with certain people, but you understand still that, hey, we all are this one tribe,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But, like, I know that some people, you gonna go? Okay, bye then. See you tomorrow. Play with her tomorrow. Yeah, there's just, I think that, I think that causes more separation. And I think that could cause some, like, I know some people will get kind of lonely, because this is a very solitary process. I kind of equate it as like, being born and dying. Those are two things that a soul must do alone, right? But there might be people around to support you. Obviously, your mother's bringing you into this world. Towards the end of your life, a family or a nurse or whatever, they're, in physical to help you. But, the process of, awakening, enlightenment, ascension, whatever, that's something your soul has to do on its own, much like being born and dying. There's people around, for support and that can help you. But this is really something, and talking about that and oneness at the same time seems like a total contradiction. But while you're on this solitary journey of awakening, of ascending or whatever, you are learning that you are everything and that everyone is one, because everything outside of you is an extension of you, right? So yeah, I just
what you think about this? Check this out. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever know. 2 can be as bad as 1, since it's the loneliest number, since the number 1. No, haha, I'm just kidding you. That's a tacky old song. But I got to ask you this question, okay? Because I'm totally feeling what you're saying. Have you noticed, since you've been going through this, like, I know you keep it on the Han Solo tip, girl, but like maybe friends that or family, in 3D, have you ever watched a loved one so looking from without that they stay in an abusive relationship, or they just keep hitting their head against the wall looking for something, and it's just, you wish that switch could flip and they could go within? You know what I mean? It's frustrating.
Well, yeah, but you got to think too that, because I don't know, I look at myself, I can look back at myself like that. Like, I look outside, and once we, before we go within, we go, we go without first, right? That's learned to go within now. I know that, in the past, I looked at happiness was very fleeting and very eluding to me. I was not a happy person. I suffered from depression. I was always sick. I had such emotional and mental trauma and spirit, I was very negative. I was very down. I was very loving, but my life was very, very negative, and happiness just seemed so foreign to me. And kind of, looked outside of myself to numb myself or to find happiness. And I found trying to make other people happy was, something that made me happy, giving things, doing things for other people. Or, then drugs, which never made me happy, but just numbed me because I couldn't feel happy, within myself.
You were trying to make every speck of stardust in existence happy, but the stardust speck that you were, you know what I mean? You had to come to realizing that it was about making you happy, because that's the only way you can really be there for other people, because it wears on you. Like, if you're in total empath, right, but you haven't got to the level, like, say you're at, where you're in content with yourself, it can really just eat you up quick.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you can't just give and give and give. I mean, you know what that's like, to give and give and give until we have almost nothing left. I mean, some people, didn't make it. They're not in this dimension anymore because they chose to end their lives because of it. And I was pretty damn close to that myself, I had given what I feel at the time, I'd given pretty well everything to everybody else, but nothing to myself. And I didn't even want to live anymore.
You were running on empty. You were running on empty, literally.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just, and that's what this, that's what this process, is about too, right? It's like, self-love is very important, because really, like, looking back on my relationship stuff now, like, I see my past relationships, of course I see why they failed and why everything did. It's because I never loved myself. You can't be, be happy in a relationship or in a job or in any aspect of life. You can't be truly happy. You can't be at peace. You can't be in love unless that's all within you first. That has to be within you first. That has to be the core parts of you. Otherwise, it's not gonna.
Yeah, work. And you can't unless you're at that point. Unless you're at that point too, you can't truly be happy for other people. People say, well, I'm happy for so-and-so that's going, oh, God, that's really nice. You can say it and try to mean it, but yet there's that inadequate feeling in you, and maybe a little bit of that jealousy. Until you're full of that feeling yourself, you can't completely give that, because, and then here's the thing too about loving ourselves, right? A lot of people get trapped in that game of, oh God, the ego, loving myself and all that. You got to give yourself, give yourself permission to love yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself and think, okay, well, if I try to love myself, is that going to give me an ego or whatever? Well, who gives a shit? Cross that bridge when it comes to it. Really, tell yourself, you know what? Hey, I am allowed to love myself. Really. Sounds lame, but it's true.
No, it is true. It's essential. You have to, that's what this journey is about too, right? It's in transforming ourselves and in loving ourselves, then we're able to love everything and everyone.
Truly love yourself, because if you don't, you'll get caught in this illusionary 50-50 game of loving yourself in those moods and an ego point, and then in the other times being really deeply just depressed and back and forth until you balance that out with combining your heart center with your brain, combining your heart and your brain, using heart logic. I mean, it's just a process of getting there. I don't know what else I can say. I couldn't put on a class, tell people you can do this, you can do that. But it's really, it just goes to show you we're all on our own dimensional plane, merging together. And that's just, it really is what it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing that can stop it. So, I mean, I suppose there's recommendations for people to kind of ease their mindset. There's meditations, relaxation, stuff like that. But, it is what it is, really.
It is whatever the hell it is.
Whatever the fuck it is, and it keeps going round and round. And as far as the animals go, it's just really, I think people like us have always been animal lovers, and but nowadays, since this awakening has started, animals will come into your life like you have it in the trippiest ways, and it's different. It's a feeling. You just know. You know what I mean? These are part of an incarnate team, and I mean, I don't think a lot of people do, and it's really, I don't give a shit what anybody says. It's as undeniable as crows in Vancouver, British Columbia. I mean, it's undeniable.
Well, yeah, I know I'm hearing of a lot of people with cats, I know not just with me, but I've heard with other people too. Cats will just kind of show up. Cats just kind of show up and adopt these people. With me, my neighbor's cat, Ethan's cat, Ashes, she's an older cat. She's I think 12 or something like that, and she's beautiful. But I mean, she was here she adopted me, and she's not even that friendly to them. I don't know, but she was
and I want to emphasize to people, this isn't just your situation where a cattle, they just found me, started coming to my house, adopted me like in the past. This is really something deeper, these situations, Raquel, that you're talking about. I know, because I've got a situation like that that's a long story, but exactly, it's just like what you said with your neighbor, with you, and you know what I mean? It's just like that.
Well, when I connected with Ariel, and I said to her, basically we had a little talk, and her soul's from the same place as mine, from the place that I remember, which is a higher dimension. And I said, why did you come to me? She basically said she was here to aid and assist me. I said, why did you come to me in the form of a dog? She said, how else was I supposed to come to you? Right? What better way? How am I just going to come into your life? Right? Obviously, I wasn't having a child or anything. So, yeah. So,
pure logic. That's pure, brilliant logic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but she just they're here, and like I said, Gaia and all of Gaia's creatures. I mean, we're all ascending together, and they're here to assist us too. So you're going to see more animals in your life. You could be wild animals. There's birds that will come, wild birds that will come sit right on people's fingers.
God damn it! Give Raquel a home where the buffalo will roam.
Yeah, well, just give me a farm. I want an animal sanctuary. Oh my gosh. But no, a lot of people are experiencing that, and it's because these souls are connected to you, and these souls, whether they be cats, dogs, birds. These souls from another place, just like a witch is familiar. A cat is known to be a witch is familiar, which means that's a soul of her helper, of her guide, of her companion that has gone through many lifetimes with that witch, or that male witch or female witch, doesn't matter, right? So basically, it's, it's the same thing. These souls are coming to you, and they're finding you. You're not going getting them. These animals are finding you and coming into your life, and it's because, and you have such a strong connection because your souls know each other, and they have known each other forever. So they're now finding you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not to bring her up, of course, but 25 years ago, Barbara Marciniak mentioned this in Bringers of the Dawn, and mentioning that they are smarter of their overall consciousness than us. But she said something real interesting. She said they're also here to remind us they're here to love us and remind us. Their vulnerability is to remind us of, the hurt that we've been through as a race, as a human race, and that we need to love ourselves, and it's okay that we love ourselves.
Also to teach us compassion as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And right now, heal our innerness completely, even deeper than that. Yeah.
Yes, like right now I have tears in my eyes. She's curled up by my legs here, and she's got her little face on my knee, and her eyes are closed, sleeping. She sleeps like she cuddles right up with me. Sometimes she'll put her head and then crook of my neck on my pillow. She's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, mine will sleep above my head sometimes, and I think it's on nights. It's weird, like he's protecting my crown chakra. It's strange.
That is so weird. I was going to say that. Yeah, Jevin's got a picture he took while I was sleeping. I'm like, oh my God, that's creepy. Don't take pictures of me when I'm sleeping. But she does that too. She'll crawl up on the top of my head on the pillow. And the other night she tried to do that, and she thought I was sleeping. I'm like, excuse me, I'm awake over here. And she kind of looked at me like, oh, and then she was back down again. But yeah, she does that too.
I think when they do, sometimes it's really they feel the need for some reason it's like they are protecting your crown chakra that night. It means something when they do that particular. Well, it means something when they do everything, for Christ's sake. Mm-hmm. But when they do every little thing they do for a bigger, deeper spiritual reason, things that we don't even catch on to.
Maybe they're little transistors that are maybe they're little transistor balls that are hooking up to our crown chakra so that we can receive more information. Maybe they're aiding us to
strengthening those rabbit ears. Strengthening those rabbit ears, girl. So you don't have to, for those young kids in the crowd, so you don't have to hold them in front of the TV and get a good reception. Right. Yes.
If you want universal knowledge, stick a dog on your head.
Yes, and Raquel Toombs is old enough to remember TV rabbit ears. We know this in Earth terms, but it's just amazing, and also to block from those evil soul catching crows lurking. Right? No.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. What's that?
My ears have been the frequency noise, the ringing, has been really persistent and really strong for especially the past 3 days.
Yeah, I'm going on my 3rd day of it right now too, of it coming on and off. It's really just yeah, exactly. It sounds like you had it a little stronger than I have, but I've had it I'm getting the impression I probably had it about 70% your rate you've been having it, but just all of a sudden the last 3 days,
Yep. It's very intense. And I know people have asked me, what it's all about, and it's kind of okay, well, for one thing, you feel the energy coming through. For another thing, some of us see the energy coming through. So it's only it's only natural to think that you're going to hear the energy coming through too, right? And I know that when it first started, it almost drove me crazy. But now I kind of, I lie down, and quite often when it gets really intense, I'll just lie down, and not only will I hear it, but I can feel the different tones and vibrations throughout my body as I'm hearing it. So it's definitely, we're definitely adaptable. Anybody that's having, going through that period of, oh my God, this is driving me crazy. Don't worry about it too much. Just try and just go with
Trust
it.
Me, and Raquel knows. If anything almost broke her, it was those goddamn noises at first. Because I went through them too, but over a longer period of time, easier. You got them hit you. I mean, really, it was really a fun few months for you with those at first.
Oh my gosh. Well, because it was a total purification thing, and then a heightened senses. So it was I could at the very beginning, I could hear every plane in the sky. and it was so loud, and it just didn't stop. It was like, what is going on, right? I guess because my ears, my senses were just were heightened. And then I also go through, like, at the beginning, I went through a major purification, where, you know, I didn't eat, I didn't sleep, everything smelled so bad, everything tasted so, I could taste the smell, I could taste the dirtiness in the air, I could take, you know, like, the chemicals in food, so I had to be, you know, eat really healthy. But I went through that a couple of weeks ago, and then I found out, you know, another space brother was going through it too at the same time. But there'll be times you'll be like extremely sensitive, more so than others, where, you know, like the smell of nail polish, or the smell of exhaust, or the smell of plastic or something will almost make you puke, and you feel like you're being poisoned.
Yes.
I get, yeah, and you get, you know, when you get like that, oxygenation, when you get like that fresh air, and allow you, you know, deep breathing, conscious breathing, I think that's natural to me. It's a different way of breathing, but I know when I'm breathing that way, I can feel it. I'm taking deep breaths, but at the same time, I'm breathing out more of the yuckiness. So, you know, fresh air, consciously breathing, drinking lemon water, taking spirulina, you know, like, that's when you're getting really sensitive to toxins like that. Just those kind of, you know, the lemon water, spirulina, Brussels sprouts, garlic, you know, stuff like that. Like that.
You should write an article. You should
Yeah,
write this for people, because it's good. You know, I know you don't drink sodas. I know that. And I have a couple a month, right? But the last few I've had just here randomly, I can start to taste this shit in them. And I had something today I haven't had in a couple of years. I had a Slurpee from 7-Eleven, if you know what that is. And I could, right, gross, and I could taste like every single chemical in it from what it just felt like it was so fucking in tune with it. And it really, I got full of the feeling of how really nasty it was for me, because I'm tasting all this shit that's in it that we've always known that's bad for you, and this crap, like, so I'm tasting it.
You awaken, you know, you get to a level where your body is just no longer recognized. It's you know, these, because we were asleep, the foods and stuff, things that we put into our body, they weren't food. They're preservatives, they're chemicals, they're additives, and we were asleep, and we were kind of, you know, sick, and we were more dense, you know, we were more dense. So it didn't really, you know, we didn't really notice it.
Perfect description.
Yeah, then we wake up and we become lighter, and it's like, soon, like, even if, like, I ate a piece of cucumber that wasn't organic, and all I could taste was poison, pesticides,
you just
whatever.
stole my next point. Yeah, I'll tell you what, and it's funny because some of these kids nowadays that haven't grown up around gardens, they've eaten nothing but supermarket vegetables ever. And even if you're, you know, somebody who's had organic, but you eat it for a while, and then I couldn't even exaggerate to you, and you know this, the taste difference between something organic and something in a store, it is just about a hair away, if not the same as eating a piece of plastic versus the real deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also, I mean, our bodies just will not tolerate. Our bodies recognize now, like I said, because we're awake, because we're lighter, we're losing the density, we're getting healthier. Our bodies will not recognize Slurpees or 7 nachos and cheese, or, you know, they won't, because it's not food. It's not. It's chemicals. So our bodies won't recognize it. So if we eat it, we're going to suffer. I know. And even same with meat. My mom, every once in a while.
You know, you knew I had that experience with nachos today too. I wasn't going to bring it up. I heard that little psychic Tony Larry. Yeah. And those 7-Eleven nachos too. It's true though. I know, but go on. Yeah.
My mom, like, okay, like I'm not full vegan, because I still have cream in my coffee. I still have pizza every once in a while with cheese on it. And so those are two things that my body is not even, you know, it's not even really liking it. So I'm pretty close to cutting that out completely. But as far as, like, I mean, I eat, you know, a lot of vegetables and nuts and seeds, and, you know, like, and I don't eat any meat. At the beginning of my process of craving chicken, and I ate chicken for like every day for like a week, and even eggs. But then bang, like, you know, that was that. And then I was done with that. And so we don't eat meat around here. My son does. And my mom when she eats meat, which is not very often, she gets sick.
Yeah, her body, right? Her body's, it's just, yeah, she's same thing. I mean, it's like her body is, I've been talking to some older people lately too, and they're like, God, I just like vegetables more than that. It's just the meat. Our bodies are just naturally, of course, we know this, taking us away from that stuff, but it's just like, our bodies are just doing this, and I think it's like a two-phase process, right? We're going through this where it's making her sick and it's doing all that, and then you get to the point where, like, now I'm starting to actually be able to break down and taste these poisons in my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. I know I can't be like, Mom has to make sure she's in her room when she paints her nails. Needless to say, I don't paint my nails or use hair dye.
Oh my God, girl, terrible.
Oh, yeah,
I can Jesus, holy hell.
Across the room. It's horrible. Just horrible. But I was gonna say, like, I think we were talking about because it's kind of shitty weather here because we live in Vancouver, so it's been kind of
9 hours up the coast from me. Yes, Raquel and I have basically the same weather, same region of the world. She's 9 hours up the coast. Yeah, so go ahead and tell everybody about our shitty weather.
I haven't been able to sun gaze. I find I was talking to my friend and soul sister Rose Eddie, and we were talking about sun gazing and how we're able to sun gaze. We don't need to eat as much food. Really not as hungry. We should be getting a lot of nutrients from the sun.
Nope, and we've starved of it out here, girl. We've been on it. People, I mean, I'm not really complaining, but we have been on a rain streak the past month or so, and it's not been there. And hey, Raquel, this is kind of funny, but I want to bring this up. One thing I do got to watch though is, I'll tell you what. If I have a little bit of smoke, or if I get a little bit stoned, sometimes I'll get the munchies. I got to watch myself, because if you go gorge on all that shit, and it really fucks your body. It's do you think that it would still give you the kind of cravings that it did for food? I mean, like, would your body maybe more prone to want some of that garbage if you're really high and had the munchies, or no?
Well, I think that it's just kind of a habit. I think also some food is a kind of comfort food. Like, I know with me, I love sriracha, and they have sriracha popcorn. Oh my God, it's so good. And every once in a while, I'll have, like, maybe a couple of Jevons Dorito taco chips, or whatever, stuff like that. But I don't know, like, if that's what if that's what you're craving, that's what you eat. Fine, but there'll come a time where you won't even really, that won't be part of your diet.
Exactly. Yeah, you can be satisfied with having a couple Doritos with the munchies versus having the whole bag and gorging.
Well, mind you, I don't smoke pot and get the munchies, so yeah, and quite often I eat the sun, so I was hungry.
Yeah, I think you froze. You there? Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My grandma called one day, and she goes, she said something. What do you have? Do you didn't eat dinner? I said, nah, I'm fine. She goes, what'd you eat today? I said, the sun. She goes, oh my God, you're a fucking weirdo. I said, thank you.
Yeah, the real true truth is so really, really weird. Yeah, that was syphilicious, by the way, everybody that called out there on the phone. Sorry, that's why the internet cut out a little bit. But yeah, but it's true. I mean, as our bodies become lighter and lighter, what do you think these beans live off of? It's light.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was Sif.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh, I love Sif. I think she's my twin flame.
She could be. That could be the story of the year. That could be the real. We get to get that going. But yeah, I mean, exactly. Not that I feel any pressure or anything. I think she kind of wants to talk to me before maybe she goes. No, seriously, Raquel, do you have anything else that you want to talk a little bit about? The floor is yours before we wrap up this night.
No.
Anything.
I feel that we're kind of all over the board here, and the twin flame. The me and Sif twin flame thing is just a little inside joke that we talk about on the telephone.
No, I agree. And I think it's funny. I think it was your higher conscious. I think that was a sign that we're all over the board right now. Sif calling and saying that. So I think that I'm going to trust your two divine goddesses' intuition. And yeah, Rack, before we go, thanks, Time, for coming on. And it's great. And we love doing this. But you know what? I'm going to, of course, give you. So tell everybody out there if they're interested in hearing anything you have to say or think, or if you you're okay with them wanting to get to know you. Tell them where they could find Raquel Toombs on the wonderful, wonderful, lovely internet.
I got a little group called Sum of One, and I'm over at zoology as well, Todd Medina Zoology. And those are the places I'm at online now.
Cool. And other than that, just chilling in V-Town on the west coast of North America, 9 hours up the coast from Lock, and yours truly. And everybody out there, of course, you can find me on most Pleiadian groups on Facebook, this channel on YouTube, Pleiadian Express Productions, as well as Pleiadian Light Grid Project, LarryLocken.wix.com/Pleiadian Productions Pro. You can find that website. If you didn't understand what I said, just go to our Facebook page, Pleiadian Express Productions, and you can find it on there. All right, Raquel. Hey, it's been great. Stay dry up there, hey, go Canucks, girl.
Love you, Larry.
Love you too, sweetie, so much.